listening to the On-Call Empath Show.
Hi, guys. We are back for another episode of the On-Call Empath. And today it's just me, and I wanted to make this special episode. I think it's a time to kind of talk about, how I got where I am today. A lot of you guys know, especially the people that I coach, that I had a pretty harsh past. I don't know if I've talked about it as much as I should in this podcast, but I think now I'm a lot more comfortable after having hundreds of guests and learning from them. And I think now's the time just to kind of tell you guys what I learned so far. There were so many great people and so many great episodes. I can't just name one. And I just can't name just one person. I've had doctors, therapists, coaches, um, high profile influencers. And one thing that I learned is that it doesn't matter where your healing is coming from. Healing could come in sporadic moments from people that you least expect it from, even those that abuse us. Let me explain. Sometimes there will be people put in our lives and they could cause suffering, or on the other spectrum, they could offer healing and make us understand why we're going through what we're going through, especially when it comes to trauma. A lot of the stuff that I went through, um, I got it from people that were just everyday regular people, that went through this similar type of trauma, as I did. So they could relate. And it got me thinking in a certain way. One thing I want you guys to ask is there anyone in your life that has completely changed it? Even if they're not here or they were in your life for maybe, a couple days, couple weeks, and they gave you a lesson, that you just never forgot, and it just made you a better person. And I feel like I've got that. I think I got that from a lot of people on this podcast. In fact, there was one person, that had reached out to me that I interviewed last year on the podcast. You could check out the episode. It's with Rachel Schaefer. It was a great episode. I never forgot about it. She's an empath coach as well, spiritual realm. And at the time, after the recording, we clicked really well. We talked, on each other's stories, and the funny thing is, she left me, with an impression of, just why things fold out the way they do, timing, why sometimes healing may not work if you're not in the right headspace. But a year later, almost a year later, I came across with her just probably recently in the last week or so. And as soon as I called, it's just like our conversation just picked up where it left off. It was just so natural. And it just reminded me, like, everything that I learned from that episode and from her, and the knowledge that she gave me, it just kind of put me in a different trajectory. Now, that's where I started ramping up the on-call empath. She gave me a lot of good ideas. And it motivated me to be a better person and understand, why I was going through some of the things I was going to. Now, that's just one example of I had so many. I can't name all the guests that I've had because I've had over 100, 150 guests. So I'm just giving you an example of this last recent, interaction. The reason I'm bringing this up is all it takes one person, and that person could change your entire life. Sometimes it's for the good, and sometimes, unfortunately, it's for the bad. So in this episode, I want you guys to look for these signs. People come to us for a reason. Energy, everyone has energy. We give out this energy to people, and they can take it and they can kind of give us a mirror back of what we're looking for. As empaths and highly sensitive people, unfortunately, we try to go towards people that want to take our energy and we want to give. So it can be a recipe for disaster. But hopefully by this end of this episode, you'll know what to look for, who to trust, and how to look for these so-called people that come in your life, and they change everything. Like, I don't think I would have done some of the stuff that I did if I didn't have my talk with, this episode with Rachel, because I would have probably went a different direction. I wasn't sure, like, what to do. She kind of gave me the confidence and the feedback that I needed to be the best version of myself. So there's no shame about who you go to. I don't care if you go to a doctor or a coach or best friend, friggin' a stranger, um, because I learn from everyone, and that's what I'm trying to get across here. I mean, even sometimes when you meet a stranger, they'll say stuff, and you'll think like, where is that coming from? How do they know? There's so many synchronicities too. Like, there's so many different. I mean, some people call it coincidence. Like, they'll say something that will catch your attention. A lesson that I learned very early on is timing is key. Because, for example, if I met somebody 10 years ago that was trying to give me some wisdom or keep me on the right path, I don't think I would have been able to utilize those tools. So, timing and being ready is key. It's like a valve. If the valve is shut, you can go to the best person on the planet, ask for healing, and it's not going to happen, because healing comes from within. Like, we have to be open, we have to be receptive, kind of like a radio. We have to find the right channel. So your state of mind is key, because if you're in a state of closed offness, seclusion, isolation, that's the vibe that you're going to be giving out. And those are the types of people that you're going to give. But if you're coming from a loving place and you're open to the right people, that's when you're going to attract these positive people. That's what's been going on with me. I mean, heck, I never thought I'd get 150 people on this podcast ever. How am I getting all these people? It's because I am going in the mindset of how can I serve, in a loving way. And that just comes, like, to me, you know what I mean? The energy comes to me, and I'm meeting amazing people, and I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful to have come across these people. And I don't think I would have if I had a closed off attitude, if I wasn't ready, if I wasn't in the process of healing, and I wasn't doing the work like breathing, journaling, grounding myself. These are all things that needed to happen for me to open up so I can get this energy. And so all those people that were toxic, they pretty much repelled. They just kind of disappeared and fell off from my life, which will happen when you're in that space. So just keep that in mind. Like, somebody could give you all the things you want to hear until they're blue in the face, but unless you're open and receptive, things are not going to change unless you come from a loving place, and you're open to change, you're open to trying new things, and you really put it out to the universe like you're ready to heal. And frankly, I wasn't. I mean, for years I was like, I was in the mode of just wanting people to hear it. I wanted people to resonate with me. I certainly didn't want to get, you know um a lot of the stuff that they were telling me was great advice, but it did not click for me. And I think that happens with a lot of people. So that's why even when I do my coaching, I tell people, like, are you sure you're ready? Are you sure you're ready to put in the work? Because I give people work to do outside, our sessions, and that's vital towards going towards healing. It's constant work. You have to constantly work at it like a muscle, like you're going to the gym. So unless I was willing to do the work every day, it would be kind of useless to go to somebody and say, okay, it feels good that you're saying all this and I feel motivated, but next day I'm right back where I was, and I'm like not feeling it. And that's how I kind of lived. Like, I would listen to all these YouTube videos and all these influencers, and I would feel amazing. I'm like, I feel great. I don't feel like, down anymore. But before I knew it, like 2, 3 days later, the steam started running off. But when I figured out the process, like, being down is not a bad thing, and I stopped running from it, the less it happened. So, I mean, in life, there's going to be guarantees of having bad days, and I tell that to everyone. But you can make it suck less once you prepare yourself that you know that it is part of life. But we're going to try, what I try to do is make it more better days than down days. And when you're in those dark down days, you can do stuff to protect yourself, your energy, bring your vibration up slowly. If you need to just kind of sit back and take it easy for a while and chill, then that's what you need to do. That's, you got to listen to your body. Don't listen to what other people are telling you. Only you know, only you know better than anyone else who you are. So in closing, I want you guys to ask these three questions. Leave me the answers in the comments below. Number one is, what can I learn from a person? So I give you example, like you might have somebody who's always in your face, that's negative, toxic, constantly, ridiculing you, putting you down. There's something to be learned from everyone. And I want to make that clear because the person that's saying all these negative things, there's something in us, in me, all of us, that triggers. And for some people, it may not bother them as much, but for others that may have gone through trauma, it will hurt. We will take it a lot more seriously. It would be very painful. It's like it's like almost hitting your hand with a hammer. Like you would feel that physical pain because they hit that nerve. So you have to know the source. Where is this coming from? And why are you getting triggered? What is bothering? Because it's not that person. Something happened way before that, that was in your unconscious mind, that brought that up from whoever said that. So next time somebody says something negative to you or is giving you a hard time, don't look at that person. Look at what's the root cause, what's making you feel guilt, shame, fear, where is that coming from? Because it's definitely not coming from that person, because all they're doing is they're lighting the fire and you're igniting. Who put that gasoline there in the first place? That's what you need to ask. On the flip side, you might get a person that's genuine, who's always got your back, who will always listen to you and not judge you. Those are people that you have to keep in your life. But many times I find out that a lot of these people, they come sporadically and they're gone. And so I want you to pay attention to the lessons that you learn from these people. In fact, the person that I met just a couple weeks ago gave me some good advice, and they just disappeared. I didn't know who, I didn't get really, their contact information or anything, but I'm now using it on the podcast. So everything is connected in this planet. Every person comes here for in our lives for a reason. We're all connected and things happen for a reason. If you have like shitty parents, or if you have like a shitty husband or wife, or um, you have a bad boss, there's a reason for that. And suffering that we go through is not unheard. Like we can learn from this situation so we can get away from it, so we can learn from it, so we don't keep falling in the same patterns. Number two, look for those people and keep those people that give you that instant connection. And you know who I'm talking about. The minute you speak to somebody, us, like especially the empaths out there, we click. We know that that person's on our level. And I think that's how I get a lot of my guests too, is like, I mean, I interview so many people, and I choose people that I automatically click with. The minute I, talk to them before the show, um, I just know and they know, like it's a right fit. And we resonate with each other. We've been through similar traumas, or, we've been through something in common. That's how I choose my guests, based on our like we both resonate with each other. So I hope that makes sense. So look for people that are going to raise your vibration, then bring your vibration down, if that makes sense. Number three, always go with your gut feeling. So if something doesn't feel right, and you wonder why every time you're around somebody you feel uncomfortable, listen to that, because you're going to be using that as a compass. And when I talked to you guys in the beginning about all these people coming into our lives, timing is crucial. Well, when these people come in your lives, they're either going to help you or they're going to try to hurt you, but both are going to teach you a lesson. So that's what I want you to keep in mind. Every person has their place in this world, and there's not one person that doesn't come in our lives for a reason. I think everyone plays a significant role, and some people may press our buttons and trigger us, but it's not that person that's causing all this confusion. It's something that happened in the past. And I hope this all makes sense. And let me know in the comments what you guys think. If there was maybe a person that you came across a long time ago that really opened up your mind for healing in the right path, what was that experience like? I would love to know. Leave it in the comments. So, also, stay tuned for the next episode. I've got a lot more guests this season. And also, if you could please like and subscribe to this channel, I would definitely appreciate it. It helps me out a ton. Smash the like button, and I will keep bringing out these amazing guests weekly as much as I can. And I'll be doing more of my episodes. And then also, if you need coaching, you know where to reach me in the bio below. Stay tuned for the next episode, and we are